What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's vlog, it's gonna be an exciting install. If you guys are new to the channel, we have been building this 1997 Honda Civic DX hatchback. This is my first time on a Honda platform. As you guys can see, we have been building this 86 on the channel for a couple years now, and now we are building this Honda Civic. We've already done a ton of installs onto the car, anything from aesthetic stuff like Apple CarPlay, a new SI front end from the 99 to 2000 Civic, along with wrap, along with wheels, along with new tires. So we have done a ton of stuff already, and we have a really good amount of sponsors. Now in today's video, we are actually going to be collaborating with another sponsor that will be helping out this build a ton. Let me go ahead and show you guys exactly what it is. We finally have a set of coilovers for this car. Definitely the OEM shocks are really outdated, and we really needed a big update. Big shout out to my guy Drew from S3. He is one of the owners, and big shout out to my boy Vin, who really hooked this up. Was my homegirl Lauren. Low too slow. We are going to open this up and see exactly what they provide over there at S3, because I really enjoy that they're actually from SoCal. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we're working with. This is basically everything that comes inside of the one box. So we have the rear suspension here, and then we have the front of the suspension here. They both come with Swift springs. Really dope. Not too sure if they are 10K or 14K. I think I seen something in the box. They might be 14. I don't know, but if anything, they are definitely 10K. The rear comes with the 100, and then we have the 140 on the fronts. Another thing that's really cool is these helper springs on the rear. I did talk to the owner when I picked these up, and he did mention that this is already revision number 8. So definitely that means that they have gone and done a ton of R&D on and off the track to kind of see exactly what this platform really needs. And they basically was very confident in terms of like for what we want, the street daily track car. They definitely were very adamant on like, yo, we like to have cars be built in terms of driving them to the track, being able to be on the track, and then driving them home the same day, which is definitely something of what I'm trying to achieve with this car. They have a bunch of different options that you can choose from, how they can put together your coilover. They put it all together and they test it here in the States. It comes with your dampening mechanisms here as well, and they look really good, honestly. Like, check this out. Like, they look really nice up top. The color is extremely nice. These are the fronts. They look slightly different. They're a little bit shorter, and they don't have the helper springs. Not too sure as to why, or even if the front suspension would even have helper springs in general, but we're just kind of learning along the way. I'm pretty sure, like I said, with the 8 revisions that they have for this coilover, there's a reasoning as to why it's set up the way it's set up right now. We have our boy Jonathan over here helping us out again. We definitely were able to get our e-brake kind of situated in the last vlog. My boy Jonathan actually ended up going ahead and ripping out the rear already, because we already had that lifted up. We were trying to see if maybe we would be able to kind of access it through this hole here where the speaker sits. You know, at least it's actually easy to kind of get to. All right guys, so we have the rear stock suspension out right now. Well, at least for just one side, the driver's side. But right now we're kind of basically just aligning what we're going to be throwing in, and then aligning this. So when I initially had measured the stock suspension with the new wheels, I had basically measured about a 4-finger distance. From 4 fingers from the top of the stock suspension to where we're at now is probably about 2.5 difference. We lined it up with the stock suspension here, and this is basically what we're just using as like a base. So you can kind of see here the 2.5 is basically where the top of the new Swift spring is at. So just gonna go ahead and line this one up with the other rear. We'll just kind of use that as a base, and then we'll make our adjustments once the coilovers are officially onto the car. And luckily Jonathan got like a super extender for the gun, and we were actually able to keep on the plastics. We didn't have to take off everything. We also tried to avoid taking off this arm here, but we went ahead and just took it off, because literally it was like 2 to 3 bolts, one here that you see at the end, and then the other ones being on this side. Be able to take off the old shock once you basically pull this down. Literally, it's just taking this arm off here, and then it literally just drops down, and that's it. Honestly, fairly simple. We should be done with this like fairly quickly. A lot quicker than the previous stuff we were doing. Let's go ahead, throw on both sides, and see exactly where we're at in the rear. We basically put on the very first coilover, and like I said, we already kind of had pre-measured it, so we wanted to kind of see where we might be at currently. I mean, obviously the car is still in the air and it hasn't settled in yet, but like I said, with the stock suspension, I was at about 4 fingers, as you guys can see here, and it's kind of hard for me to have 4 fingers now. I'd say if anything, we're kind of at like maybe 2.5 to 3 fingers here. Once we drop the car and the fender kind of settles on top of the tire, it's probably going to drop just a slightly smidge more. We actually might be on point once we drop the car, so we won't really know until we do the front and the rear and then drop both at the same time. Like I said, it's going along very well. We still have this side to do, but this should take us like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then we'll start on the front. So we're about to tack the front suspension, and I gotta say, it's actually fairly easy. So basically, you're gonna have to take this fork off right here. So it should be 1 bolt here, and then 1 bolt on the bottom, as you can see. The stock shock right here sits inside of this fork. Now, when you come up over here, it's literally just these 2 bolts here, and then you could probably release it once you take off this fork. Now, super simple, I gotta say. The fork is just really easy to take off, you guys, so just go ahead and do that, and then you can go ahead and throw in the new one. Alright, you guys, so we finally got the car down on all 4s now, and I gotta say, I think we did exactly what we wanted to in terms of the ride height without having to adjust anything really. So we're about to go and take it for a test drive right now. I believe all the dampening settings are on soft on all 4 coilovers. Check out the fitment here, you guys. Here is the fronts, and then here is the rears. We ended up kind of going with the same measurements from the front and the rears. We went like 2.5 from the old stock suspension, kind of hoping that we'll get like a somewhat of that 4-finger distance from what I had mentioned. So before I said that there was like a 4-finger distance from the gap we had on the stock wheels, whereas we did run a smaller tire as well. But I do believe that this honestly is pretty dang close here, what we might want. This is what the rear looks like, and it's not hitting at all. I'm a little curious as to when we do hit a bump, when it kind of jumps up like that, if it will be kind of rubbing on the outside of the tire or not. We're gonna go ahead and give it a test run, see how it does, and then we'll make our adjustments from there. It is sunken in just a tad bit as well. It's kind of pushed in a little bit, as you guys can kind of see from this angle. If I want the kind of fitment that I'm normally used to, we probably would need to add like a spacer here on the rear to just bring it out slightly a little bit more, and then we might have to do some adjustment here. Definitely a work in progress, but I think we're pretty dang close. Let's go ahead and give this a test run and see how the new coilovers feel. Oh my gosh, you guys, so I gave Jonathan the camera right now so he can help me record, and I don't have a wide lens. I have to invest in one, so I'll be getting one soon because I definitely need to upgrade my gear. But let me see real quick, stay like that. So this is how he's recording me right now. He's like literally all the way in the back of his seat, dude. Man, it feels pretty good.
I think we're good.
It does feel pretty soft, I'll say that much. I wonder if I could go forward without having an angle. Let me try it out right now.
Only one way to find out.
We're about to get to the main street right now, so I am going like only like 20 miles an hour. I do respect my neighborhood just because I don't want anyone to try to complain to me about, you know, the things I do with cars. We're gonna try to go forward right here though and see. Hey, that works. Yeah, it feels pretty good, honestly. It does bounce a little bit. Definitely want to fix that. But like I said, all of the coilovers are on the softest setting. So this is kind of good in terms of like what I feel like we might need. So I think I might click it to like 2 to 3 times in terms of stiffness. Feels pretty sturdy right now. Literally tell off of like turning the steering wheel. Another thing is we have 2 bodies in here, and I weigh probably like 170 pounds, and then Jonathan, you're probably like what, 90? 220. That's a pretty good amount of weight, and for me not having any kind of rubbing or any kind of hits when we go over bumps or dips, I think this is actually pretty damn good. And that was a full turn, no rubbing whatsoever. That was really good, dude.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, so for the second half of this video, I figured since we already went ahead and did a pretty big install with the S3 suspension, we should probably add on a little bit of something that we left off with. As you guys can see, we have the car on jacks already, and we're going to be attacking the brake master cylinder and the prop valve. As you guys know, we did the rear disc conversion, but we never upgraded the brake master cylinder nor the prop valve. We still have the stock one that came on the DX. In the forums, it was a little bit of a controversial thing whether or not you need to change the brake master cylinder and the prop valve or not. Now, I will say, because you're already in there, you're already doing the rear disc conversion and everything else, it's probably safer to just go ahead and upgrade it. I went ahead and got myself a 99 to 2000s prop valve along with a 1-inch brake master cylinder that would normally go on the Integra Type R. So as you guys can see here, this is the prop valve from a 99 to 2000 Civic SI, and as you see, it says 7/8 here, so I believe that's like the SI standard there. We also have the 1-inch brake master cylinder here. I picked this up off of eBay, as well as the prop valve, and they were fairly cheap things to buy. Now, another thing that we also needed on this was a brake fluid change, so I went ahead and got myself some Motul Racing brake fluid, because as you guys can see, we still have some really dirty brake fluid, and we probably shouldn't be running that, but I did go ahead and put some clean brake fluid in there when we first initially did the rear disc conversion. I did know that we needed to get that dirty brake fluid out, but I was kind of waiting for the Motul brake fluid to come in because we needed something that was going to be able to withstand a lot of heat when we're braking a lot on the track. So I really didn't understand how important it really was to kind of do that, and how important it is with your brakes being on the track, and the constant braking, and the type of temps your brake fluid will get. So I feel like this will be a pretty good option, especially because it was recommended to me. I have never ran something like this before, but as you guys can see here, it has all of the degrees of heats that it will be boiling up to. Now, I went ahead and got myself 3 of them because we're going to be doing a complete flush for the whole system. Now, bear with me here because I'm not too sure the exact way I should probably go about it, and I'm pretty sure it's probably going to get a little bit messy, but I think we'll be all right, honestly. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of start taking some of that old stuff off. Seems like it's a pretty simple thing to do. It seems like there's just one bolt here, another bolt here on the side, and then there's 2 bolts here on this side as well. One here that holds the prop valve, and then another one right here that holds the prop valve. So obviously we're gonna have to loosen each valve, but hopefully they're not like seized or anything in there. Might make it a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. Fingers crossed that it's as simple as kind of taking this stuff off, not dripping too much of brake fluid on the ground, and just adding all the other stuff and doing a really good bleed. So let's go ahead and get to it. Finally got everything on. There was a little bit of a struggle when putting on the prop valve, but I'll show you exactly what you should do in terms of not trying to struggle when putting it back on, and I guess when taking it off too. As you guys can see, we have the brake master cylinder here. We have it filled up with our mold tool brake fluid here, and I'm still about to get ready to basically bleed the brakes. So because I'm by myself, this is basically the method you can use if you're trying to bleed your brakes on your own. As you see here, I have a regular water bottle with a line here that you can see has a little bit of an arch, so that way the air doesn't come back up. And I also have the new brake fluid down here inside of the water bottle as well, so if it does suck anything back up, it's brand new brake fluid. And then we have the end of the plastic here with a zip tie. You could basically go ahead and do about like 4 pumps, give it a good hold, come out, look at it, and you do that a couple times and you should be able to bleed the brakes by yourself. Now ask me where I learned that from. Your boy Chris Fix. So big shout out to him because that actually works really well. The thing that I was mentioning to you in terms of the prop valve here, now you see how the amount of space you have is not that good. So when you're trying to get the wrench in here to take off the valves here, this intake is in the way. So it is a little bit of a bee to kind of take off, but you can go ahead and wiggle it off and then just prop it up and you'll have enough space to get to all of these valves here. Now that was something towards the end of me putting it on that I was like, man, this is annoying, this is such a struggle, this is taking too long. I'm gonna just go ahead and remove the intake box and make it a little bit easier for myself to put it back on. So definitely a little quick tip if you guys are doing this yourself. That is about it for this video, you guys. We did a good amount of stuff in this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Big shout out to our new sponsors, S3 Suspension. Really big help in this build in terms of getting us ready to go to the track, but also just the goal of having this car be a street daily and sometimes track car. Big shout out to them. I really appreciate this sponsorship, and I'm really glad that we upgraded to the new 1-inch brake master cylinder along with the new prop valve. On our original prop valve here, you see it says 6T5, whereas on the one we just threw on from the 99 to 2000 Civic, it says 7/8. I'm pretty sure this is going to help us out in the long run, and if you guys think that we didn't have to change it, leave it down in the comments down below, because I'm really curious. As I went through all of the forums and all of the research when doing the rear disc conversion, and people talking about how you should upgrade the brake master cylinder and prop valve, or you shouldn't, or you don't need to, I guess I just really don't know if you should or shouldn't, but I feel like, hey, we're already there, we're already upgrading a bunch of stuff. Why not just save myself the hassle later on and go ahead and change that? Let me know in the comments down below if you guys think we should or shouldn't. That's all I got for this vlog, you guys. I hope you guys are ready for the next vlog, because the next vlog, it's gonna be a big one. There's gonna be a lot of upgrades going on, and we had to actually do some footwork in terms of searching and actually going to a place to get these parts because they were just hard to find. So I'm really excited for this next vlog, you guys. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to make it to 10,000, and I know we can do it with you guys' help. I say it every video, I will get you to subscribe eventually. So that's all I got. Make sure you guys live long and prosper, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.